at the bottom here it says test and refine indicators with stakeholders. So once you've produced your first calculation, take it to the stakeholders, to the users, and show them your results and say, what do you think? Is this useful to you? Is this helping you to answer the questions that we identified at the beginning? Can you understand this graph? What does it mean to you? How could we improve it? And quite often, stakeholders may misunderstand what you think is really obvious, or whatever, or they want you to change the presentation. So we really recommend test and refine indicators with your stakeholders, and if necessary, go back up to the beginning to refine it. In the other box here, develop monitoring and reporting systems. So for the permanence of your indicators, you need to have the champion, the person who's responsible for it. So, and there are two parts to that. There's monitoring to gather the data, to collect the numbers, and then there's reporting to actually produce it in a way to communicate it. And so you need to have that institutional responsibility. And commonly, when people produce indicators, they start here in the middle. They say, what indicators do we need for our national strategy? And they go and look at a list of indicators that somebody else has done, CBD or another country. That's where they start with, possible indicators. And they look at what data do we have. But we recommend that you first start with identifying the purpose. You'll be more successful if you've got that really clear. And there's examples of this in their Africa report to help with that. And then just quickly, there was a question about how does this fit in with NBSAPs. You've got this diagram also in your packages. There's a printout of this. These are some possible stages in developing your national biodiversity strategy, and where indicators fit in that. So at the top, as already been said, identify and consult stakeholders as part of your national strategy. Consider the strategic goals framework. That means the strategic goals of the strategic plan. There are 5 strategic goals. It's in in here. There are 5 strategic goals in the strategic plan. We recommend take that as your first point, and then review the Aichi targets and draft key questions. And we're going to do the exercise to do that in a minute. And then also in your country, compile the existing policies, targets, and knowledge. What is already there? You're not starting from zero. There are existing policies, there are maybe existing targets, there's existing information on your subjects. Compile that to then see, is it adequate to help you set targets? To come down then to actually setting targets, and in parallel with that, developing indicators. And then when you've developed your indicators with your targets, you actually design the strategy to achieve the targets, the implementation plan, include monitoring for indicators in your strategy, adopt the NBSAP, and implement it and conduct the monitoring to bring back the loop. So use the indicators as part of your reporting. That's the theory, the ideal. So, I'm going to skip that bit because we're just a little bit behind time. And what we're going to do now is work in, how many people? We've had a couple of people join us. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, well, would you like to come to the front, please, and join us on in this table here, and introduce yourselves as well. conditioning on in here? It's not just me, it's hot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is the air conditioning actually doing anything?
I don't think it works. I think that's where we got the fan.
That was the, or the back, yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. So, what we're going to do now, Tristan, could you prepare the workbooks, please? Is we're going to do a kind of role play exercise, learning this some of the stages of this framework, and the objectives of this are to understand that indicators are purpose dependent, introduce the framework to you, and support collaboration. And so we put you together in 3 countries. There's the country of Ponai here at the front, Camland in the middle, and Malaysia at the back. And your job is to play the role of an indicator developer at the national level called Piriki Jones. And you're going to start to use these steps to identify the purpose of your indicators. And so we're going to do this looking at Aichi target number 5, which is in the workbooks there, which is by 2020, the rate of loss of all natural habitats, including forests, is at least halved, and where feasible, brought close to zero, and degradation and fragmentation is significantly reduced. And so as part of that, you need to consult your stakeholders to make sure that the target meets their needs and addresses priority concerns.
Are there any left?
And each of your tables as a group, we want you to read the workbook and using the information in there that we've given about the views of stakeholders, identify 3 priority key questions regarding habitat loss and conservation and setting a national version of Aichi Target 5 that is likely to be important for your country. And to discuss that in a group, identify some possible key questions using that information, and then list those key questions and justification, and please write it on the flip charts. So then we'll put the flip charts up on these boards here, and all come and report back and discuss that's what you've come up with in identifying key questions and why you chose those key questions for your country using the information in the workbooks. I think we will start, if you could start doing that now, and then just to start discussing it, and then in about 10 minutes we'll take a break and then come back and continue that. Okay? And if there are any questions, me and Tristan will come round and help you with that. what we're working on here is mostly international like development indicators as part of the national strategy. Yeah, this is this is about this framework, the steps to help you be successful in developing indicators. It could be at different scales. So what we're doing now is an exercise to start learning these red boxes, which are about purpose. So the basic message we say about indicators is first, what is their purpose? Then what indicators for? Is it to report on the target? Is it to communicate a subject to understand it? And to do that, consulting stakeholders and to write the purpose as a key question. So that's the exercise we just started to do now. So in these workbooks, it's a kind of a role play. So if you could just start, if you just read here, does it explain your role, who you are? Okay. And then as a group, start to think, what are the key questions that you can produce right on the future? And yeah, so a key question is for Aichi target 5. Yes, read this, and then in this section here, question 17. I think there's a mistake here. Yeah, so there's more information here to explain this. Okay. What's that?
Part of what he was getting at is
So you're in a government agency? Is it a government agency?
might have good data in terms of the state. So are we trying to come up with based on the stakeholder groups?
So the thing about the target which is
We just guess.
target, as you said.
So 2020, the rate of loss of all natural habitats including forests at least half reasonable growth zero, and the regulation and expectations
So all natural habitats, which is forest in particular.
So haven't they already said they've already spoken to the
degradation.
We're supposed to identify the question.
And we need to look at the feedback that we've had from our stakeholders, which is points on the
So you first frame the question, then you see whether you can
Given that feedback and given the target, what are the key questions?
They're really
I think that the first question, the question is what are the habitats we have, what is the relative significance in terms of abundance
isn't it preempting like
in order to design using
Vulnerable.
First of all, ask the question.
Because there are several stakeholders.
See whether you've got data where you need to generate.
I've read rules and so I think that the first question would be to identify the
So I was wondering if you could, from you look at the stakeholders water, rather than trying to look at all. Mine's very bad.
mine is bad in Hebrew as well.
So ladies, what have you two?
yes, but mine is
So far as you did
I can try, but you know, it's your
Anyone can read that
rather than trying to do everything, just try to see what the job
it's always bad to choose a male for this
That's true.
for this task.
Should we just break down the
So should I write identify a list of habitats and
maybe identify the key habitats which are most vulnerable.
I'm gonna have lots of grammar and spelling mistakes. So
Speaking of Aichi Times 5, what contribution, national contribution?
Which of them?
always yes. Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's say rank.
Which of which?
And rank maybe the vulnerability. Identify. Here it doesn't look good as well. Identify key habitats and rank the
issues together. So the best way to know is what's in our issues and then which of those are most vulnerable. Put that together. I don't know if it's a
but I think in
good question.
In terms of the framework, what's the question you're trying to answer? So what do you want the indicator to address? I think it's not what questions do we have about the process, it's about if we follow the process, what questions do we want the monitoring to answer? That's my understanding.
In a suite of 20 targets, and 5 is about
50%.
yes, but I mean it's more about the kind of the state, the stock of natural capital in our country. There are other indicators about reducing specific pressures like this. So I think this is more about just issues. We know we've got the habitats, we've probably got some forest problems.
As a group, before we start chatting, check your deed. Oh, yes, sorry. Sorry, I'm like, I was thinking myself.
So we're the guys by myself. So you're in the ministry and you've got some key agencies with you.
No,
Consultants,
But
core stakeholders that you've identified.
Well, do you mind doing a
Come up
little bit?
with what now the question is, based on what all these concerns are, what are the key questions that the minister or whoever it is who's going to be ultimately acting on whatever the indicators ultimately is to tell you about the status in this case.
And now I'm calling
Forest.
My name is
What
Nella,
are the key
and I'm
questions that he or she will want answered in order to sufficiently act upon whatever the status is?
Okay.
So that's what we're trying to get at.
So you could look at year and a half.
I'm wondering, are we clear about the management objective?
The management objectives, in a sense, because it's kind of left forward, because we don't have time to go through every single step. You're working on step 3 here at the moment. The management objectives are Code B and Target 5 and the Aichi targets. That's the management objectives that you're discussing.
health condition.
I wonder,